Hey, good morning, girl. Today is the 7th of April, 2019. And I want to wish you a happy Sunday and a happy, what is it, the second week of April now? So that's nice. Hey, I look good today. I look handsome today. Dang. How did I get so handsome? Um, how did you get to have a father that was so good looking? How did that happen? Oh, your mom chose me. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, she's got great taste in men. I'm not kidding. So, how are you doing, girl? I hope you're doing well. Today, like I mentioned, is the 7th of April. And yesterday was my brother Marcos Trujillo's birthday. That's right. How old is Marcos? I don't know. I'll have to ask him. I think he's like 3 or 4 years younger than me. I'm about 47, soon to turn 48 years old. Uh, so my brother's probably like 44 or something like that, maybe 43. And he is the second eldest brother. No, actually, he's the third eldest brother. So I've got one other older brother than him, Enrico. He's like a year and a half younger than me. So if I'm 47, he's probably like 45 or something, 45 and a half. Well, anyway, it was Marcos's birthday yesterday, and I got him a gift. Like, I sent him an Amazon package filled with vegan treats. That's right. Packages of cauliflower, packages of like snack foods, that are all vegan. So, fruit leather, lots of fruit leather. Let me tell you, vegans cannot live without fruit leather. Let me tell you, I don't know what it is about that stuff. That's our candy now. It used to be Twizzlers, but now it's fruit leather. Or I don't know. I don't know if fruit leather was in there. I'm guessing it was. I know that there was a vegan like beef jerky. If that's even that stretches my imagination beyond the outer limits. I think I'm not sure that I can comprehend a vegan beef jerky. It's my mind it's exploded. Vegan beef jerky. I don't know how they would do it. Maybe it's probably some kind of textured vegetable protein pressed into some kind of, I don't know, some kind of flat food, the flattest food around. So yeah, I got him. He and his wife, uh, like a vegan gift box, uh, and it's a box of all kinds of vegan snacks. I hope he likes it. I think some of these snacks were pretty routine, almonds and pistachios, but there was some weird, wacky stuff like cauliflower chips and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I hope he enjoys it. He's kind of a foodie. He and his wife are kind of foodies. They like food. They like tasting varieties of food, and so it was natural. It's a natural selection for him. I think he is going to like it. I know his wife in particular is interested in eating well, and what that means quite often is that people experiment with healthier foods, seeking out foods that make them feel better. And what better way to do that than have a sampler sent to your home? I know. So I'm congratulating myself for that. When I grew up, um, I did not celebrate my birthday, and neither did any of my brothers because we were Jehovah's Witnesses as we were growing up. And what that meant was that we didn't celebrate birthdays. Why? Well, because birthday celebration isn't in the Bible. It's not recognized. Well, actually, it is recognized for one person, and it was like the Egyptian pharaoh. Um, Now, I'm not saying that that's a good reason not to celebrate birthdays. In fact, looking back on the practice, I think it was uh, not a good choice. It's not a good choice. I don't think it makes much sense at all. But I think that maybe from a religious standpoint, it was rather poetic and romantic. But from a practical, everyday standpoint, it's, I think, a rather harmful practice. Everybody needs to celebrate uh, the every full year that they've lived on planet Earth. Why? Because it is a gift. It's essentially it's about gratitude. You know, it's about gratitude for all your friends and your parents and the fact that you're alive every day and that you've been alive for the last year. I mean, that's an accomplishment. It is a physical accomplishment. It is a mental accomplishment. It is a logistical accomplishment, a financial accomplishment. It's an accomplishment on a lot of levels to continue to live on this planet. And if you're really, really good at it, you know, you might hope to live until you're 80 years old. You could hope 90 years old. And if you're super lucky, then maybe you'll live over 100 years old. Maybe. So, um, you know, I think it has more to do with things than luck, of course. I think there's a lot of intelligence that goes into it. And in fact, I myself am congratulating myself yet again. I'm patting myself on the back another time. Here we go. Good, Miguel. He's figured it out. So, what am I patting myself on the back for? I have changed my diet again. That's right, again. How many times does Miguel change his diet? All the time, all the time. So, but now I'm really feeling quite confident that my diet is on more of a solid footing than it has ever been. Now, I could tell you a long tale of all the various diets that I've been on. I've been vegan, vegetarian, raw vegan, 80-10-10. I've been paleo, Atkins, keto. The list goes on. And quite recently, I was vegan, and recently went to a shift after actually quite a struggle. I was having some trouble. I got almost derailed from veganism because I my my sights got a little blurred when I was thinking about veganism in the face of weightlifting and needing to maintain getting protein requirements. That nearly sidetracked me. There was also another sidetrack having to do with my interest in baking, cookies, and cakes, and my love for frosting, which um, which almost derailed me. That again, another thing that almost derailed me from veganism. Thankfully, I have maintained being a vegan or trying to eat like a vegan, and now, in fact, I think I've gotten even more strict control of veganism. Now I am proud to say that I am a low-fat vegan. That's right. I know it's a subtle change, very subtle, but it's a change that had to be made because it's quite easy to be vegan and be overweight and unhealthy, have insulin resistance, have diabetes and heart disease. Very easy to do. I think it's possible anyway. It's even possible to be overweight. I mentioned that and be vegan. And so thankfully, I think I've got my ducks in a row with this low-fat veganism idea to put a cap on insulin resistance, which I think will help prevent me from having real trouble with diabetes, heart disease, and even cancer. So hopefully I can keep this this habit in place. I have also done something else. I've inspired by the Okinawan people, the beautiful people of Okinawa, who uh, have left a heritage, left basically a legacy of good health through the eating habits of the Okinawan people of the 1950s. I've been able to read a few clinical studies of their behavior, and I'm now, thankfully, I'm eating more sweet potatoes than I ever have before. So that's great. So I've also been really interested in smoothies, fruit smoothies, all kinds of smoothies. So I'm getting into smoothies, low fat veganism, sweet potatoes. So I'm really feeling focused now, and more focused than I have been in a long time. Like I mentioned earlier, I was getting derailed from veganism for a short while, a couple weeks, and I was really struggling with being a vegan. And not only that, but I also had a fascination with something called intermittent fasting, which I've set aside for now. I'm not going to pursue that. I mean, I kind of already do intermittent fasting just because I have early dinners. My dinners are like at 4 p.m. And so, and then I don't eat anything for a long, long, long time until like 6 o'clock the next day. So, what does that mean? What is that anyway? That's 12, 13, 14. So it's almost intermittent fasting. What is that, 14-10 or something like that? I know it's not perfect. 16-8, it would be a lot better than 14-10, but what can I say? You may not even understand what I'm saying. 14-10 refers to how many hours I go without food, and then 14. And then 10, the second number, refers to uh, when, how long a duration I can eat within. So I'm not technically intermittent fasting. It's happening quite naturally. So anyway, I'm going to set all that aside and just let you know that I'm doing really well in terms of how happy I am about what I'm eating. So that's nice. That's the reason for the pat on the back. Me feeling like, and it is just a feeling, but feeling like I've got control over my mortality, at least until the next change, right? Yeah. So that's good. Interestingly enough, today has been rather warm. It's been rather warm. I've had to open up the windows here. I had a sweater that I was wearing and had to take it off because it's really just warm. What that tells me is that spring is in the air, that summertime will be here soon, and it's going to start getting really hot. So, um, hopefully I'll survive this onslaught of heat from the sun and from, an earth that is warming more and more. So, heck, that's another reason to celebrate a birthday, that global warming hasn't derailed your life in some way, right? So anyway, I'm just grateful about all the things that are going on today. And you know what? I was reminded of an interesting mental exercise. Let me share it with you. It's a thought experiment. And the thought experiment goes like this. You know, it starts out saying, today you're having a mediocre day, perhaps quite average, and there's nothing in it that is inspiring you or giving you great joy or happiness. Imagine for a moment that last night, you know, it could have been the case that you might have died and have would have lost everything as a result of your death, all your friends and family members, and all your possessions. And then what if on some was by some miracle. This morning you woke up and everything was reestablished. Everything was granted to you that you had before in exactly the same measure. How much more grateful would we be just to be in the place that we're at? In the mediocre situation that we're in, or in whatever situation we're in, I can imagine being just thrilled, absolutely thrilled to be restored to the kind of life that I left last night, when I left last night in death. I mean, I think it's a powerful story. Imagine losing everything in death and then being restored magically the next day. I mean, imagine how thrilled you'd be to be alive. And to have, believe it or not, I have very few problems compared to some. I don't know how many billions of people there are on this planet. Let's say that there are 7 billion people on the planet. I would say that a good billion would love to be in the position that I'm in. The position as it relates to my health, my social condition, my work. Easily 1/7 the world's population, I think, would probably gladly trade. There are people who are on the precipice of death and sickness, people who are plagued with physical disability, mental illness, people who are challenged by homelessness, poverty, starvation, people who live in war-torn areas. I'm convinced that there are a lot of people who would really love to be in my position, where I have relative good health and things are going relatively well. So anyway, glad for that. Another reason to be grateful. Yesterday I was talking about how I was having trouble with my braces. Well, I'm feeling a lot better today. Something has happened where somehow my brain has adapted to the changes, and to some extent. I'm still feeling a little bit of pain in my cheeks, but hey, man, I can manage. I'm glad to be here. In fact, I love the fact that I'm able to sit in front of you today. There are a lot of things that might have prevented me from making this video right now. I mean, there are a lot of problems that either I've overcome or somehow I've bypassed that have made it possible for me to leave this kind of legacy, this kind of video today. A lot of benefits. I don't know. I'm just so grateful that I can do the things that I do with relative ease, that I have relative freedom to do them, and I've got the time and energy. The other day, in fact, today, I was thinking about how fortunate I am to be single. I know it, in society, singleness is more and more of a normal state, normal condition. That is a change. It used to be different. Singleness used to be very odd, but now it's quite run-of-the-mill, quite normal. I'm glad that those changes in society have occurred just about the time I'm single too. So, I also think that if I were in any other kind of romantic relationship, or any kind of romantic relationship, that, I might not be able to set aside the time to make videos for you. I might be distracted by my partner's problems or their fascinations about the world. And, quite reasonably, I might have, say, overrided my interest in spending time with you in front of the camera here. And so, so I'm grateful that I'm not being distracted by something else. I could be having cancer, or I could have I could have something wrong. I could be on dialysis or something. And those kind of health problems could be preventing me from spending time with you right now on this video. So, I'm just so grateful that I have what I have, including my singleness and the relative freedom I have to make the decisions I do. And of course, the technical acumen that is required to pull together something like this: video cameras, mics, lighting. It all takes. There's a technical underpinning that exists here. It's a laptop that's fast enough to transmit the data stream. There's internet connection that's fast enough to upload to the cloud, to the YouTube data center. There's all kinds of things that have to come together in order to make this possible. And I've got it. I've got those things. So again, really glad, really grateful to just have that foundation laid out where this is possible for me. Speaking of being grateful, I have got fun plans planned for this coming weekend. This weekend, I'm going to a music festival. That's right. I'm going to go to Lucidity. I've been to that festival a couple times, 2 times before, so I guess this will be my 3rd time. I really like it. And for me, it's my own little, what I'd call, my own little music festival in my backyard. It's kind of like, what's that big musical festival that happens in, what is it, Utah or Nevada, or where is it? It happens in the desert up there near Reno. Well, anyway, I'm looking forward to the music festival this weekend. I have a feeling it's going to be awesome. And definitely looking forward to hanging out with my peeps. I got friends out there who are dancers who pretty much go all the time, go dancing all the time. I get to hang out with them. And I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling physically up to it. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing some weightlifting. I'm going to be doing some running and weightlifting, which will help ensure that my legs are strong enough to do the kind of dancing that I want to do for 3 days straight. And so it's going to be great. I got my minivan. I got everything prepared, really. I'm ready to go. Now, I don't have any kind of camping ticket or anything like that, which is okay. I don't mind driving home at night. And, when you're out there under the stars, anyway, it can get awful cold. And then you've got the music, the beat, right? The beat just going all night. Boom, 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 boom. I'm sure it's kind of hard to get some sleep sometimes. So I'm glad to get out of there and go to bed here at home. But I'm really looking forward to dancing to all that electronic dance music. Interested in seeing all the artwork that people have prepared. They're working diligently to assemble it. I'm looking forward to all the sort of the treats, the costumes that people will be wearing, and there will also be people providing, offering classes much of the time there, and I'll be having a great time just hanging out with all my studious friends who basically use Lucidity to learn something new, to get a new perspective. I'll be taking my pen and pad of paper and taking notes regularly. And so, it's just going to be this wonderful learning weekend where I have fun with friends and music and art, and it's all outdoors. I got some new sunscreen going on. So anyway, It's going to be nice. Looking forward to it. Yeah. That's, what I like about it is it's in my backyard. It's just, I don't have to go that far. It's not like these other music festivals that are forever away, right? They're not in Reno or Nevada or wherever. They're not near San Francisco or Monterey or wherever. It's close. It's like an hour away. So I'm looking forward to it. Should be fun. In fact, it will be fun pretty much no matter what happens, unless it rains. I have a feeling that it's not going to rain that much, if at all. We're pretty much done with the rainy season here on the Central Coast. And if it rains a little bit, so much the better. I remember last year, we could have used a little bit of rain there because down in the dance pits, the mosh pits or whatever, in front of the stages, it got a little dusty sometimes. I don't mind the dust. I'm fortunate that I don't have any respiratory illnesses. I don't have any problems with asthma or problems sucking in the dust. So, I'm fine, basically unaffected by the dust that gets kicked up by dancers in front of the stages. But that would be a good reason that it would be nice to have a little bit of rain falling, maybe an hour and that's it. So that's pretty awesome. Looking forward to going to that music festival. I'll be taking a lot of photos, a lot of videos, and I'll probably be posting some of those, sending you some text messages of videos, some iMovies that I make. And so I'll probably be, if I do that Friday, if I plan to go to the music festival on Friday, so I should have some footage by Saturday when I send that stuff to you. So good news, man. It's all good. Get to hang out with my buds. So this weekend. So that's going to be fun. Another thing that's happening soon that I'm really looking forward to is Six Flags. What is it? They got a water park starting up in May, I think. And so looking forward to that. So many awesome things to be looking forward to this summer. I've got my braces coming off May 7th. I'm heading out to Albuquerque, where I'll be hanging out with my family. My birthday's coming up on the 27th of May, which is awesome. Birthday's coming up on the 27th of May. I'll be 48 years old, 48 years young. And so that's so great. The fact that I'm even alive right now is pretty amazing. And anyway, I'll be able to celebrate that soon. That'll be nice. Your birthday's coming up, the 21st of June. That's exciting. Also, there's going to be a solstice parade too. I was thinking about walking in the solstice parade, but I just haven't taken any action to do that. I probably should do that. Now that I think about it, I should totally sign up. So here's the thing about the solstice parade. That means I'm going to have to come up with a costume. That is going to be a struggle for me. I'm not quite sure what to do for that. I'm going to have to really think about costuming. It's already April. Oh my gosh. April, May, June, July. There's so many things going on. Early May, too. May 3rd and 4th, there is the what's happening May 4th, May 3rd and 4th? Oh yeah, there's the science fair. The local science fair here at Lompoc High School. That's exciting. Looking forward to that happening. Oh man. So many interesting things happening. Yeah. So pretty excited about all that stuff. So let's see what else is going on. Oh, so the whole point of this video, Emily, is to talk about the title of this video, which is the subject of this video. Believe it or not, it's only been 30 minutes. I still haven't gotten to the subject of the video yet. That's typical me. So here's the subject. Oh, come on. Oh, there it is. Question number 326. When did you get your first traffic ticket? And share the details. Share the juicy details. Okay, so I believe that I got my first traffic ticket. Oh my gosh. I seem to remember. Oh my goodness. So my first traffic ticket. It was as a freshman in high school. I'm a freshman in college. So at the time, I was 19 years old. That's right, a ripe 19 years old. And the vehicle that I owned at the time was a white Fiat Pininfarina convertible. Oh, yeah, I had a really nice car. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for procuring that beautiful vehicle for me, which spent a lot of time in the shop, by the way, but I did love it. It was really a nice little car. Beautiful little sport car. At the time, I had a girlfriend. That's right. Her name was Brandy Simon. And so we had gone camping one weekend. I think it was like a Saturday or something. It was overnight, like Saturday, Sunday, in a tent with some friends. We'd gone camping with a bunch of friends. There was a tent involved and sleeping bags involved, and it was fun. And so we were driving back from camping. I think we were at Box Canyon. So at the time I was in college, freshman year, and it was, I think it was probably in the springtime. Yeah, it wasn't that cold. In fact, the year was probably winding up. So it was probably like March or April, right about now. But way back in 1990, I was 19 years old, and I was driving my Fiat with my girlfriend beside me, and I got pulled over by the officer. I was speeding. Turns out the speed limit was 55 miles an hour, and I was going 60 miles an hour. I was going 5 miles an hour over the speed limit. Can you believe it? I remember that detail because it was a little bit upsetting. Like, oh man, there's nothing I could do, right? So I was going 60 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone. They pulled me over. Officer pulled me over, gave me a ticket. Give a ticket to a 19-year-old kid driving home from a camping trip with his girlfriend. Pointless, I guess. Pointless. I was going 5 miles an hour over the speed limit. I was going 60 miles an hour. I know. So that was my very first speeding ticket. And so you might ask, Miguel, how many tickets have you gotten in your entire life? I mean, you've been driving for a while, right? That was when you were 19 years old. Now you're 47 years old, right? It's been like 30 years you've been driving. How many tickets have you gotten? How many moving violations? Fact is, I've only had like total of maybe three, maybe. I might have gotten one or two other speeding tickets, or maybe not even speeding tickets. There was one ticket I remember I had with you in the car. It was with your mom and you and I. We were in Santa Maria, and we were at the mall. You know that mall where Best Buy is, Chuck E. Cheese's? Well, I did a very poor job about merging through one of the circles one of the traffic circles there. It was when traffic circles were brand new. They had just installed them, and I wasn't accustomed to using traffic circles, and I kind of messed up. Anyway, the police officer pulled me over and gave me like a warning. He gave me some instruction about. In fact, he was there for that very purpose, right? The traffic circles were brand new, and he was there hanging out at the traffic circle, being a good Samaritan, I guess, helping to teach people about how to do the traffic circles. When he noticed someone doing a traffic circle wrong, which I did it wrong. Okay, so here's another time. Here's the story with that. You were a passenger in the car here. So what happened was this. When you enter a traffic circle, you can enter it in 2 lanes. You can enter it to the inner lane or to the outer lane. The outer lane if you want to make a right-hand turn, the inner lane if you want to continue to go left. So what I did is instead of what I wanted to do is I wanted to go on the outer lane beyond the traffic circle and make a right-hand turn. I did not do that. I went to the outer lane. I did not make the right-hand turn. I made a left continuing around the circle instead. I know. That's it. That for that very technical reason. Because I was using traffic lane number 2 instead of traffic lane number 1 to make that left-hand turn around the circle. He pulled me over, and hey, I hadn't been around a traffic circle. They just weren't any. And so anyway, I got a ticket for that. And you were in the car at the time. Pretty sure of that. So that was when I was driving your mom's CRV, her Honda CRV, and I just kind of goofed up. Wasn't paying as close attention as I should to the signage. Got pulled over for that detail. Your mom was pretty upset about that. So, yeah, that is at least 2 tickets. I got a parking ticket one time when I was at University of San Francisco Medical School. And let me tell you, again, another parking ticket that was just pointless. That parking ticket had to do with the fact that I parked, but there was a port, like an exit, like a garage door, sort of outlet to the street. And really, I only was like in that like driveway, only in about a foot, maybe 6 inches to a foot. And it might have only been about 6 inches, but maybe it was like 6 inches to a foot. I was having trouble parking, and it just so happened that I just got about a foot into the driveway, right? As I was parked on the side of the road, right? $45 ticket because of that. So, I mean, those are 3 tickets that I got. 2 moving violations, 1 parking ticket, all for what I think are relatively minor reasons. Anyway, so there we go. Now, have I gotten any other parking tickets? Let me think. Or any kind of moving violations at all? Let me think. Nope. I don't think I've had any more than 3 in the entire 30 years that I've been driving. So that's pretty amazing. Now, that's not to say I haven't made any mistakes. It's just that I made mistakes. It's just that there haven't been officers around when I've made them. I think one of the most harrowing mistakes I've ever made on the road was when I ran a red light one time. Pretty much gave me a freaking heart attack. Nobody runs red lights on purpose, right? It's all by accident. And I wasn't being reckless in any way. I didn't have any food. I didn't even have a cell phone. This was even before cell phones existed. I don't think I had the radio on. It was just pure in my mind driving. I had my eyes on the road. I was just purely in my mind, just driving along. And somehow my subconscious mind was occupied with something else. And I was driving alone. My mind was I was just like in a daydream state, as people sometimes are when they're driving. And I ran a red light. I just didn't see it. I honestly didn't see it. Or maybe if I saw it, somehow my brain didn't catch it. Or, I don't know if you've ever, of course, you haven't been doing it, but here's the thing. Street lights are only effective if people notice them. So how are street lights noticed? Well, it's your subconscious mind that sort of picks them out of your peripheral vision, right? You sort of have to be watchful and waiting for the streetlights. And sometimes they're rather unpredictable. I mean, how many streetlights have I gone passed by in my 30-year driving experience, my 30-year driving career? Thousands, thousands, thousands. And how do those lights get picked up? Well, each one gets picked up by my subconscious mind. It just sort of sees the intersection and it kind of looks out for, okay, this is what they look like. And, somehow for some reason that process did not work. The brain was not working, even though it was, I was just driving along. Anyway, I did run the red light, and thankfully traffic was light and there was nobody going in the opposite direction. There was no car accidents. I don't think anyone even saw it. I mean, there might have been one or two people that saw it. But thankfully traffic was light. And anyway, when I recognized of it, I guess halfway through the intersection, when I recognized, oh my God, this is a red light. I don't even think I even had time to scan both sides of the freeway. I was like, oh, there it goes. So, and then once that happened, my adrenaline just started pumping and I had to pull over and regain my composure because of the fact that I had run a red light. It was just so emotionally jarring. Like, it's not something that anyone does on purpose. I mean, maybe there are some foolhardy souls who do that on purpose, but only after they look both ways. In my case, it wasn't even that. It just was a hiccup in my brain. And golly, at the age I was, maybe I was 22 years old. 20, 22, something like that. So I was still a young guy. I was still in college. And I ran a red light and had to pull over immediately. Like within 10 seconds, I was pulled over. I pulled myself over just to catch my breath because it's quite anxiety producing situation to be in. I think what concerned me the most was just that I was just so uncertain about whether there had been any traffic at all. Did I just miss getting smashed by another vehicle? That uncertainty, I don't know. Anyway, I did pull over and just sort of compose myself. It took about 5-7 minutes where I just sort of, okay, I'm here. I'm in one piece. My car is in one piece and everything seems to be okay. Nobody seems to have died. And so anyway, as a 22-year-old guy, I'm sure it could be rather disconcerting. Whether or not there was an officer nearby wouldn't have even helped. I mean, it's not like I needed any punishment from an external source to sort of teach me a lesson or anything like that. I generally, people who drive cars know how dangerous it is to run red lights. And um, so anyway, I guess what that might have done in the future is that I might have gotten a little more focused, I suppose, or I don't know if it affected my subconscious at all. The way I'm talking about it, maybe it did. Maybe it has affected my subconscious. So that's good. So thankfully, I mean, there were no negative consequences to running that red light, but that was, in my mind, probably the most dangerous thing I did. Even the stuff that I got tickets for from the officers from 3 times before, all those reasons they gave me tickets were completely trivial. And the time when I probably ought to have gotten a ticket, I didn't. But then nothing bad happened. So that's kind of an example of just how freaking lucky I am sometimes. Sometimes I'm lucky. I'm crossing my fingers. Hopefully I continue to be lucky. So those are the stories behind me and my traffic tickets. That's all I got to say. I don't have anything else to say. There's no other story. You ask your mom, Emily, and one thing she'll say is that your dad is a safe driver. Yeah. Well, you know what she'll probably is more likely to say? It's more likely that your mom, she will say, your dad's a slow driver, which I don't know. It's not quite the same as saying that I'm a safe driver, but it's pretty close. It's about as close as she might get to saying that I'm a good driver. She knows I'm a slow driver. In fact, that's one thing that bugs the heck out of her. she kind of has a lead foot, and I'm exaggerating. She does go over the speed limit normally, whereas me, normally I go at or under the speed limit, and it drives her crazy, or at least it used to drive her crazy when when she was my co-pilot for a number of years. Now I don't always drive just under or at the speed limit. Sometimes I'm a little bit over, I have to admit. But as a single person, believe it or not, I tend to drive the speed limit and below most of the time. You know what? It comes down to just being single, which is great. I'm driving safer because I only have to satisfy myself, right? Now if I had somebody else in the car and they were needing to get someplace somewhere or had different driving standards, safety standards than I have, then I might feel compelled to go 10 miles over the speed limit. I don't, because I don't know, there's nobody in the passenger seat most of the time when I'm driving. So that's actually great. It keeps me safe, keeps me alive, keeps me out of car accidents. And it's great when I get to exercise my own judgment and not be hurried by somebody else's standards, opinions, or judgments. I'm also not flustered. Everybody having a backseat driver is a challenge. Anyway, I'm relieved, grateful that I don't have any backseat drivers in my life. And, it just makes me a safer person on the road all around, and I'm glad for it. It's probably kept me alive. That's right. All these years, it's probably kept me alive. Now, one thing I'm really looking forward to, Emily, is these autonomous vehicles that are coming up. I am super hopeful about them. In fact, personally, Emily, if you never did drive a day in your life driving behind the wheel of a car, I would be happy about that. I don't think I could be any more pleased. Here's the thing about driving a car. It's boring. It's hard. It's distracting. It's a challenge. It's also easy to make a mistake. I mean, when I drive, like I've driven down to Los Angeles many times. Every time I take that 5, 6 hour drive there and back, inevitably once or twice there are surprises, right? About what I do, or what other people do on the road, whether it's the weather or sort of refuse in the middle of the road or whatever it is. There are always surprises, and thankfully none of those surprises have been fatal or injurious to me over the years. And again, it's just been pure luck. And but I look forward to autonomous vehicles reducing risk on the roads. And in fact, personally, I am really looking forward to autonomous vehicles when I can just let the car do the work, let the car do the driving, and I can sit back and relax, surf the internet, watch a movie, be on the phone. That'll be so much better than having to pay attention to the road, which is ever changing and can be risky and dramatic. People people get road rage. You know, I've been near situations, and I have not been a part of any kind of road rage situation that's been like in my face, but I drive by it every once in a while, and it's disturbing. This driving can get on people's nerves, and I'm really looking forward to when I don't have to deal with it anymore. And I'm thankful that that'll be sooner rather than later. Hopefully it'll be within the next 5 years. I've got high hopes for Waymo and Uber coming to my rescue. We'll see how it works out. I don't know what all those police officers are going to do without any vehicles that they can give tickets to. Hopefully they'll start spending more time solving crimes instead of giving people speeding tickets. That'll be nice. So let's see. I want to take some time out right now here at the end of my video, and I want to express to you, first of all, my love and appreciation that you are in my life. For me, I recognize that as an immense value to me, the fact that you're alive and healthy and doing well in the world. You're already a freshman in high school. That's amazing to me to even contemplate, and I'm so pleased. You've told me stories about how you're in the gifted program. I don't know if you still are or not, but the fact that you made it at all is amazing to me and wonderful. I'm so happy to have you follow in my footsteps pretty much when it comes to academics. And I just want to say just how much I value the fact that you're in my life and that you're doing well. So happy that you seem to have it together and seem to know what you want to some extent. And it really pleases me as your father to see that happen. And, I want to play more of a role in you being amazing and, accomplishing your goals. And, of course, I want to play a role in that. I want to play more of a role in it. I want to make sure that you have the peaceful and productive life that you deserve. And, I'm thrilled that at least in some measure, I'm able to offer that to you by, offering you encouraging words at times through letters and my text messages, and through my support, my financial support, through child support, and paying for your medical care, your dental care, your eye and vision care. I just want to, let you know that I offer those gifts to you as part of my support to you, my overall support to your well-being. I want you to know that I'm here to support you when it comes to your mental health, if you find yourself having trouble with anxiety or depression or any kind of thoughts that are giving you stress or hardship or any kind of feelings of emotional pain, I want you to know that um, I might be able to provide some assistance. I've been there before. I've had depression. I've had anxiety. I know what those conditions are like. And you know, uh, if you are experiencing life challenges, changes going on, whether it's in your relationships with your family or friends, or even your relationship with yourself, I want you to know that there is at least one other person in the world who you can lean on in that case. Um, Someone who's got experience, someone who is empathic and compassionate, someone who has a vested interest in your continued happiness and ability to thrive. And I just want you to know that I'm here for you, right? And I'm available all the time through phone, through FaceTime, through Facebook or email or in person or however you want me to show up in your life. I am willing to show up in that fashion, whether it's an encouraging letter or a text message. I'm more than happy to spend some time focused on you and you know to be your partner in helping you navigate your life. So that's what I'm here for. And I'm committed, fully committed to that task. I have not, my determination isn't even one iota less than it was 10 years ago or 14 years ago. And so I am fully committed to the long haul, to the long term, to your long term wellness, both physical and mental, and even financial wellness. I'm committed to that uh, for you for a lifetime. And I just want to let you know about that. For me, it's important that you know that. Yeah, it's part of my commitment to you. It's part of my unconditional love for you and your life and sustaining it and maintaining it. And I just wanted to let you know about that. So you've got an amazing resource here that you can draw on. That's right, an amazing resource. I've had almost 50 years of experience, a half century. Not only that, but I'm a person who knows you at levels that are so deep that you may not even be aware of. Right? Like in the text message I sent you yesterday, I was the first person to lay eyes on you, besides the doctor who was giving birth to you, giving your mom that cesarean section. I was the first person to lay eyes on you as a whole human individual, separated from your mother's and the umbilical cord, separated from your mother and the umbilical cord. I was the first one to see you individuate, so to speak, in the world as an individual unit, a solo person. And to me, that is significant, right? We share a bond, not just a genetic bond. 50% of my genetics is yours, but we share a bond of longevity, genetics. We share a social bond, unbreakable social bond between father and daughter as a father-daughter pair. And, we're all also both living and traveling in this world as it's revolving around the sun. So we're partners in a lot of different ways. We're also both left-handed. Yeah. We're also both super duper smart and super duper good looking. Right. Yeah. Wow. Um, how good can it get? How good can it get? It can get this good, which is pretty darn great. And I'm glad to experience this journey with you and partner with you as we're on it together. I love you, girl. I'll talk to you later, okay? Bye bye, Emily.